Dylan, what's up?
Hey, how's it going?
It is going. What's up with you?
What a wonderful evening here in, I don't want to say sunny Pennsylvania because it's currently the evening.
Nighttime.
But it was quite a lovely day.
It's Mooney, Pennsylvania.
In Mooney, Pennsylvania?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, tell me about your lovely day.
My day was quite lovely. I got out of bed. I went to work.
Always.
And what a privilege.
Yeah.
And halfway through the day, spilled cold coffee all over myself.
Are you serious?
Yes, all over myself and all over my blanket.
The
And
green one?
The green one?
No!
The green one, in fact. And I got up and I said, well, I'm going to go take care of this with some paper towels, which I was unable to do. So I marshaled my will, I collected my patience and my blanket, and I marched out of the office and back to my home to spend the second half of the day working from home from my home station.
Did you?
And yes, you didn't even notice.
I didn't even know.
And however, the person sitting next to me did, and she said, did you just get up and leave? And I was like, there's actually a reason for that. But everything has been saved.
Good. Good.
So, folks,
Tragedy.
drink out of some kind of like container or something with a lid.
Yeah.
Or maybe just don't drink coffee.
I
But
will
if you do it carefully.
This is not the first time Dylan has spilled coffee. I feel like you've spilled coffee a number of times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess I have, huh?
Yeah.
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 I guess I have, huh?
You have. You have.
Probably over a dozen times.
That I can recall.
I'm not the most graceful with,
A
or
beverage.
rather, I'm not the most mindful with the position of my wrist in relation to my coffee.
What does that mean?
So, whenever I'm gesticulating wildly in front of the computer,
Okay.
maybe during a meeting,
That's true. You do gesticulate wildly.
yes.
Pretty often.
People think I know sign language. Not the case. I usually smack the coffee all over myself, or my keyboard, or my chair, my poor wrist guard. It's like this foam wrist guard,
Yes.
and it is absolutely saturated with probably 10 cups of coffee dating back to like a year and a half.
That's disgusting.
Absolutely vile
Honestly,
stuff.
I gotta say though, mine's no better. So
And how are you supposed to
I
clean
have
it?
no room to judge. No, I don't know. I think I literally look at it every day and I'm like, how do I clean you?
Yeah.
I think about that all the time.
It's stained.
Yeah. Maybe we can, because like I wouldn't trust it in a machine wash
Yeah.
because it would probably just get torn up.
Would get torn up.
Tearing up.
And I was like, am I supposed to soak this or some fucking shit?
Yeah.
Also, something crazy happened today. About a year ago, I had a little guy contest in the office
Wait, what?
where I hit a bunch of little guys
Oh,
and I had people, yeah, you know it's coming. People search around the office to find these little guys. Madison found this beautiful little guy that I'd purchased.
I did. It was a little Woody
It's
head.
a little Woody head and with a little cowboy hat.
Yeah.
And she's like, you know what? I'm downsizing my desk. I don't want this fucking little piece of shit trash gift. So she gave it back to me.
It's not.
I was like, you know, this is a kill shelter, right? This thing
That is
not
what
gonna-
Dylan said. I
this is-
can attest to that.
This thing isn't going to last long. But yeah, so now that is back at my desk. So you've downsized your desk by upsizing my desk.
Yes.
Thank you for that.
So like so here's the thing. So
Go ahead.
For the little guys at work,
For the little guys in the
for the
audience.
little guys, we like there's been a pattern of figurines being passed around and handed out in the office in many different ways, whether it's a figurine or a plushie or something else. We call them little guys. And right now, my desk is filled with a bunch of random ass little guys.
Mm-hmm.
And as much as I
Yeah.
love those little guys, I can't move. I can't do shit. So I'm looking
crazy-
around and I'm like, I need to be more selective with my little guys. There needs to be like an audition or something to get on my desk.
You know, it's a very socially nuanced thing to regift something. To regift it to the person who gifted it to you is more fucked up than I can ever imagine.
Okay, guys, here's the thing. I was telling Dylan how I was going to downsize my desk, and Dylan says, "You're not getting rid of my little guy, are you?" And I said, "I might." And he said, "Well, if you do, give him back to me."
Oh, did I say that?
You verbatim said that,
Oh,
Dylan.
yeah. Yeah, that sounds like something I'd say.
Verbatim. That's the only reason I handed him to you today. Because what I have done, because I have a hard time parting with things.
Mm-hmm.
So right now, I have taken all of my little guys and I put them in a pile, and I stare at them every day now. And I'm like, do I want these? And like, I'm weighing this decision in my brain because I feel better without the clutter. But then I look at them and I'm like, damn, I like these little guys.
Yeah.
So today I saw Woody and I said, you know what? I'm going to part with one. And I gave him back to what I thought, his father, and who asked for him directly.
So I said to give it back to me?
Yes! You said, if you're getting rid of him, give it back to me.
This is one of the fun parts of having an impaired memory, is that I get to have fun little surprises of things that I did in the past come back to me, and I get to reevaluate my decision making.
I'm being blasted for this, for bringing him to a quote-unquote kill shelter that his father redeemed whenever his father was the one who asked for him.
You know, if I could go back in time and you asked me again what you should do with that, I'd probably say burn it. Don't give it back to me.
You know what? The other ones on my desk, I probably will just burn them.
Sheesh.
Might as well. But yeah.
The cruelty of, I don't want to say man, because...
the cruelty of little guys.
How's your life, huh?
It's going.
Yeah.
It's going really well. Things are rocking and rolling.
Rocking and rolling. Down to the beach I'm strolling. You know that song?
Nope. I sure don't.
You got to edit that out.
I'm absolutely not editing that out. Nope.
My reputation is at stake.
It's too late. Your reputation's already blasted.
Yikes. All right, please continue.
Yeah, so I finished my show. I am devastated, but...
Congratulations.
Yeah. It's bittersweet. This has probably been my favorite show experience I've ever had.
Yeah.
Both the people and the show itself. Just as a recap, for those of you who don't know, I was in Spring Awakening. I played the Leah Michelle character.
Right.
The lead. Yeah, it was just, I didn't know the show before. I honestly didn't get the show before. And then doing it, I just fell in love with it. And then I fell in love with the people. And I just, like, everyone was so kind. So yeah, it was definitely the best show experience I've ever had in my life.
Yes.
It's up there and one of my favorites now.
It was a good show.
Oh, yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I really appreciate it.
Performed very well.
Thank you. I wish we could have kept performing it. You know, that's like the one thing, like, I don't like the volatility of that career, of like doing theater for a career and like not having the stability, but like being able to perform, it's just like the way that you describe like making art and stuff, like it's just like it's the best feeling. I just want to keep doing it forever.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's definitely, especially when you get a good one like that, like a good show, it's really hard to say goodbye.
You know, what's more human than just expression?
Yeah.
And having a place and a platform to do that is a wonderful thing. That's part of the reason why I love doing this podcast so much. Yeah.
I agree.
It's a lot of fun. And congratulations again, truly.
Thank you.
It was a wonderful performance. You did great.
Thank you.
And what do you have next? What is your plan?
Yeah, so I have an audition coming up in a couple weeks for Carousel in Concert. If you do not know, I'm obsessed with Carousel. It's one of my favorite musicals.
It's an older show, isn't it?
It is. It's a Golden Age musical that nobody does. Nobody puts on Golden Age musicals, and especially nobody puts on Carousel. So I love it so much, and they're doing it for one night only with the Hershey Symphony Orchestra. So I'm going to audition for it. Hopefully, you know, I'll take anything. I literally would play any part in that show. Super low commitment. And then that would be in the spring, so we'll see about that one. You know, who knows. And then the other one that I'm going to audition for is called The Mikado. And that's an operetta, and that'll be in this fall if I get in.
Wonderful.
Yeah. I would like to clarify, though, because if you do know The Mikado, the original is very racist. Racist.
That's what I was thinking. When you said Goldie Oldies, in terms of like...
Goldie Oldies?
Golden old shows. As you said, verbatim.
Yep, verbatim what I said.
I was thinking, you know, the reason why they probably don't put those on so much anymore is because they're racist, right?
Because they're racist. Yeah. Yes and no. I like, yes. There are a lot of old shows that are racist. What makes them historically racist has been the casting of it.
Okay,
is the problem. Because usually, if you think The King and I...
Oh, here we go.
The King and I is a show. I don't know where actually it's. I actually don't know the show very well, but I know that the lead man is not white.
Right.
And it's problematic whenever it was historically cast with white actors. So like that's usually where the problematic issues come into play. And not that the Mikado is not problematic, because it is, but that's a huge reason why it was problematic. But it's currently a public domain show, so we can change things about it, which we are. So we're making it not racist, and we're setting it in Canada instead.
What Madison's trying to say is she's not racist.
I am not racist.
People say that she is. She isn't.
I'm not. I'm not.
Regardless of what you believe.
You don't know me.
Welcome, folks.
To My Existential Crisis, the podcast where we talk about all the things that make us question our entire sense of self. My name is Madison Epley.
And my name is Dylan Berger. Recording?
All right, Dylan. I've got a doozy for you.
Yes. We've been talking about this for a few weeks. You've been working on the script.
Yeah.
Quite diligently.
I have been. This is a story that like has stuck with me. Like I had forgotten the victim's name originally, but like I knew the story, and it like kind of shook me to my core. I remember where I was when I first heard the story. Like it was like one of those moments where I was like, this is fucked. Yeah, I think I was listening to the episode of Crime Junkie on it, and I was in my old apartment in Harrisburg across the capital where I used to live. I was in my bathroom and I was getting ready, and I remember like it was a Saturday morning, and I was just like listening to it. I'm like, this is fucking wild.
Crazy that you can place yourself at the exact space of time when you first heard about this.
Yeah, because like I felt so like this story. I don't know why it stuck with me so much, and I'm sure you'll understand once you hear it. But like, yeah, it just really got me. And I was like, this is so fucked. But it's also one of those stories where like so much happened and didn't come out until after the fact. That like things just kept like the reason why it took me a little bit longer to put it together and why I wanted to make sure that I was be able to do the research is because like the things that I remembered hearing, I couldn't find in the news articles. And it was just because it was like not family lore, but it was like just deeper than like usually news articles just report on like the surface. This was like under the surface.
Okay.
So I wanted to make sure I got all of the under the surface things that took a little bit more research to find.
Yeah.
All that to say, this is the story of the disappearance of Susan Powell.
Okay.
Do you know this one?
We had another disappearance in the past with another Susan Savakis, I want to say?
Yes. Yes, Suzanne Savakis.
Suzanne Savakis. So this is
Susan
Powell.
Yes, Susan Powell.
Okay.
All right. Just before I forget my sources, Wikipedia, abcnews.go.
Just a little shrug when you do Wikipedia.
Of course.
Thanks so much, Wikipedia, for pretty much since the start of this show.
We're sponsored by Wikipedia.
Yeah.
Actually.
And they need donations.
They do. So give them some love.
Yeah. I'm not going to. You do it.
But you should.
Yeah.
You should. Wikipedia, ABC News, KSITV, King 5 News, Investigation Discovery, E! Online, KJZZ News, KSL News. All that's interesting.
Okay, someone's bragging.
A lot of different news sources.
Yeah.
And Stephen Powell's own website, which we will get into.
Okay, what is this website named?
It's no longer up. I had to go in like the web archives to go find it.
Okay, gotcha.
That's what I mean when like I say I had to go deep. Like it's not live anymore. I had to like find archives.
Okay.
Okay, so let's get into it. Let's discuss who Susan Powell was. Susan Powell was born on October 16th, 1981 as Susan Marie Cox, and she was raised in Puyallup, Washington. Puyallup?
How's it spelled?
Puyallup. Puyallup. Puyallup?
I think it's Puyallup.
Puyallup? Okay. Puyallup, Washington. It literally doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at all. She was 18 years old and pursuing cosmetology when she met her future husband, Josh Powell. Susan and Josh Powell were devout members of the Church of Jesus Christ of the Latter-day Saints, and they were both enrolled in an Institute of Religion course this is where they actually met. After their marriage, Susan found stable work as a stockbroker at Wells Fargo Investments. Friends and family recall Susan as vivacious, very diligent, radiating warmth and ambition. By all accounts, she longed for a home filled with love, something she knew intimately through her own close-knit Cox family. So she was a very lovely person. Overall, her home life was unremarkable in that it was just pretty healthy and pretty good. The same cannot be said for her future husband, Josh Powell. Josh Powell was born on January 20th, 1976, to a very dysfunctional household.
I just want to say, what a coincidence that they both have the same last name.
Stupid.
Yeah, I'll work on it.
I have to say, though, I was listening to a podcast, and it was not Beach Too Sandy.
Wow, for once.
I know. It was another one, and this woman was describing about how her aunt and uncle had the same birthday. And I was like, what? That's pretty wild that they had the same birthday. And then she said, yeah, and they're not even twins. And I was like, I sure hope not. Like, what do you mean? Like, I didn't realize that they were the same in the same family.
Gotcha.
Okay, but I was really confused. I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? Anyway.
I've only ever met one other person who has the same birthday as me.
Really?
It was somewhat recently. It was within this year, yeah.
I've only known one other person in my life to have the same birthday as me. I've never met them. They had passed away before I was born. But yeah, no, my birthday is pretty unique too. Sorry. All right. Josh Powell was born in 1976 to a very dysfunctional household. His father, Stephen, was very abusive to his family and was very against the LDS church that his wife introduced to their family. Stephen, the patriarch, he espoused eclectic, sometimes occult religious views. According to divorce filings by Josh's mother, Terica, in 1992, there were allegations that Stephen had shared pornography with his sons, that he refused to teach or enforce limits on certain behaviors, that he dabbled in witchcraft and was practicing polygamy. She also claimed that Stephen was mentally ill and needed psychiatric evaluation. Stephen believed that women only existed to be enjoyed by men and that they don't hold value. He began instilling these beliefs onto his sons as well, which was part of the breaking point for Terica. On the flip side, Stephen was accusing Terica of witchcraft because she studied herbs and natural remedies alongside her LDS beliefs.
Okay.
So it was a lot of back and forth.
When did this take place?
Very messy. When did it take place?
Yeah.
The divorce?
No, just the time frame of this story.
2000s, early 2000s.
2000s? Mm-hmm. Were people just throwing around witchcraft claims?
Yes.
In the 2000s?
Satanic Panic. Well, when this happened, it was in 1992, so we're just getting out of Satanic Panic.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
So that would make more sense.
Yeah.
So yeah, Terica, for all accounts, that was pretty much the only thing Stephen could accuse Terica of. She seemed pretty normal. He did not. And we will see very soon how not normal he was.
Okay.
Also in the court documents was a description of Josh, their son, who was just 16 at the time, and he was described as a troubled teen who allegedly killed gerbils belonging to one of his sisters, threatened his mother with a butcher knife. He also attempted suicide on at least one occasion. And at this point, he was siding with his father in terms of his views on women. He looked up to him, as most young men do with their fathers, I imagine. So this was kind of like all of these things, seeing how Josh was handling things. Like, this was all the breaking point for Terica. So they were divorced. It was very volatile in their family. And by the late 1990s, Joshua was living in Tacoma, Washington as a student at the University of Washington. And it was here that he began a relationship with a woman named Catherine Terry Everett, who he met at a local LDS church congregation. The two moved into an apartment together, and Joshua started to exhibit possessive behavior towards Everett. She later recalled that he refused to allow her to visit her family by herself and added that he would have restrictions and limitations on what I could and couldn't do when it came to my family. It was only when Everett was visiting a friend in Utah without Joshua that she decided to not return to Washington and broke up with him over the phone. So she essentially went out of state to leave him, to be safe. November 2000, Joshua held a singles mixer dinner party for fellow classmates of their LDS Institute of Religion course, like I had mentioned. And this is where Josh and Susan first met. Their relationship pretty quickly intensified, and the two were married less than 6 months later in April 2001.
Jeez, 6 months, huh?
Yeah, very quickly. Needless to say, Susan had no idea about any of Josh's past history or his family history. In her mind, she was marrying her soulmate, and it was also pretty normal for the time and for LDS to marry pretty quickly into the church. So they initially relocated to South Hill, Washington, and Josh and Susan's first years as a couple were anything but idyllic. They were living with Josh's father, Stephen Powell, whose escalating obsession with Susan was soon apparent.
I have heard this story.
Yes.
Yes, this is some grim stuff.
Batshit crazy.
Yeah.
I was watching part of a documentary last night about it, and there's so much footage. There is so much footage. It is disturbing.
Yeah, I've seen it. A lot of recordings, too.
Yeah.
Man.
That's just the beginning. So he was known as a man who always had his camcorder out, but he went to the extremes. Instead of recording the whole family for like family videos, you know, he would fixate the camera solely on Susan, zooming in on her butt if she walked away, trying to zoom in on her legs and try to catch glimpses up her skirt. There were videos that I had seen where Susan would literally like put things in front of her butt as she walked away so she couldn't be recorded. And I saw a video of her crossing her legs, and you could see like a little bit in her skirt, and he's just like zooming up and like commenting the whole, like not subtle. I want to make that very clear. Not subtle at all. It was very clear and obvious what his intentions were, and he made that very obvious.
I remember this one thing, and I think it's really broadly applicable. It's that people would rather die than be impolite.
Yes.
And the social pressure of not saying anything is so strong.
It is. It really, really is. And I was going to get to this later, but because you're going to hear all the things that he did. But Susan did bring these things up to Josh. She did mention that she was uncomfortable with what Stephen was doing. But Josh brushed her off, kind of treated like she was crazy. And also, I imagine it's difficult because they're living under his roof. They're, you know, it's not like he's living with them. They're living with him. So, like, where do they have to go? So I'm sure that was a concern, too. Yeah. And like you said, yeah, the social pressures of being polite. I think it is Crime Junkie who says, like, stay weird, stay alive. Like, you know, trust your gut. Like, if something is wrong, like, speak up. Don't be afraid to be rude. Yeah. It's crazy. I don't know how much that would have helped in this situation overall, but yeah, it is. Even just like thinking like if you're being like catcalled on the street, like there's so like I get mad at myself if I don't speak up, but I just like freeze.
It's a difficult thing.
It is. It's
because you don't know that the person that you're speaking up to is going to act or respond aggressively.
You don't know. You don't know at all. And there's been so many times where like in my brain I'm like, fuck you. Like you can go fuck yourself. But then yeah, you don't know like how they're going to react, how they're going to respond.
You don't know if they have a weapon.
You don't know. Yeah. So it's tough. Anyway, Stephen, he would constantly try to take pictures of Susan. Not try to, he did. Always recording her to the point where he would frequently follow Susan with a camcorder and spy on her with mirrors while she was in the bathroom. He would also steal her used underwear from her hamper. Oh. And her clean underwear from her drawers. He
didn't have his own?
No, he didn't. And again, not being subtle about it, like very clear intentions. I watched the video yesterday where he was saying how excited he was how excited he always was for Susan to take a shower so that he could rush to the hamper and get her used clothes. Yeah, like he would he was like, and he's describing it, and he is like showing her clothes like that she had just worn, like laying out, and he's like, Susan was just wearing that like 3 days ago.
He was documenting it?
Yes. Documenting it. Like when I say evidence, like he's documenting himself being a creep. For him to then rewatch and do whatever he would want to do with for his own enjoyment. But like just sick. He started collecting Susan's used cotton balls for removing nail polish, her used tampons and pads, used tissues, everything. And again, not just allegations, but there are pictures of these items that he is collecting. There are videos of Susan out there from him being a creep. There's a video of him looking at Susan through like slotted, what is it called? Like a slotted...
like the blinds?
Yeah, like blinds. Like he's recording her through blinds.
Yeah.
And he's talking about how beautiful she is and how obsessed he is with her. And like, it's crazy. He would write in his journal about all these sick and twisted fantasies about Susan. He would have a video journal where he would just talk about his obsession with her in depth, at length. He had a video of him sniffing her underwear. He has videos where he would just like talk about her and record her items around the house. It's like a horror movie obsession, scary. And again, not allegations. He's openly recording himself and admitting to what he's doing, and they're out there.
I'm curious, what do you think? How do you treat that kind of aberrant behavior?
That's the thing.
It's not medication, because I don't think that behavior is necessarily a product of some kind of...
No.
Isn't always a product of some kind of...
I think they probably overlap, but I don't think that behavior is solely treatable by medication.
Right.
Like, I'm sure they have gone hand in hand before, and you might be treating a symptom, but you're not treating the cause of it, which I think is just his overall mindset, that women are there for him to have and
probably
do what he pleases with.
A lot of therapy, I imagine.
Yeah. That he did not get.
Yeah. But at the same time, you have to be open to receiving that kind of therapy and open to changing your behavior, which these people typically aren't.
No, not at all. Not at all. And very openly in denial about it. Yeah, he's openly talked about reading her journals, like taking her diaries and reading them, essentially. Openly talking about his obsession and how aroused he would get around her. He would take advantage. There's one video, it was fucking disgusting, that I watched. He said that she was sick and he offered to rub her feet, and so she agreed, and Josh was there in the room with him, and he was describing how he had her foot in his crotch and how he rubbed her back and like took advantage of like feeling like her bra, and like it was disgusting. And he was like, yeah, I tried to sneak in as much as I could with Josh being there, but whenever he wasn't looking, that's when I tried to take advantage of that time. And he talked about how he was like, yeah, and I know she's not naive to it. I've read her journals. I should know she's not a naive girl. And I'm like, this is so fucked. It's fucked. Fucked. I have to say though, my favorite part is
your favorite part?
He wrote love songs for her, and they're one of his songs. I'm just gonna start reading some lyrics because I have to find some levity in this situation.
Are you gonna sing them?
No, but I'm gonna play it if I can find it.
Yeah, what's the melody?
This song is called Yikes.
Can you sing it to Eye of the Tiger?
How does
it go?
I'm missing you, and some of these lyrics are, I can love you in a secret way. I can love you each and every day. Another song is called Waiting for You, with the lyrics, I could be getting a mistaken impression. Each time you seem to gaze at me, you let me touch you softly. Why, is the question, and the effect amazes me. Had trouble sleeping. Wasn't beside you. I felt so lonely. For a little bit I cried too. I spent the whole night through waiting for you.
Feels a little Eminem, doesn't it?
Another was called Mi Minuquita.
Oh.
You're as pretty as a little doll, and I would like to play with all the things that make a little doll so nice. and you could dance and you could sing and you could do most anything, and I could taste your sugar and your spice. I'm so sorry. That's disgusting.
I want to disappear.
I'd like to hold you close to me, and that's how it's supposed to be. I'd pick you up and hold you to my heart. My little doll will be my friend. I hope it's more than just pretend, and you and I will never be apart. And we could find a little place, a dollhouse with a little space, to have some little dolls like you and me. And we'd be together night and day with lots of time to laugh and play. And that's how we would live so happily.
And do you think this is like a guitar accompaniment or like a little bit of brass or...
They seem to be guitar
strings.
accompaniments. Let me see if I can play this one.
Why is this so well produced? Who the fuck is singing with him? Oh, I feel like I'm losing my mind. You know what the crazy thing is? It's not bad.
I was deep in a Reddit thread last night again. I'm trying to find this stuff, and somebody said I'm mad that like I don't hate it.
Yeah, it's actually, I wouldn't play it, but Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I feel I'm real tired. All right, please continue.
We've only just begun too, which is the crazy part. And like I had mentioned, Susan wasn't naive to this. She knew what Stephen was doing. She confronted Josh multiple times that he was making her uncomfortable, but Josh didn't do anything about it.
It's like a pervert of the opera situation.
Literally. In 2003, Stephen confessed his infatuation to Susan,
mm-hmm.
who rejected him.
Mm.
And this encounter was actually recorded on Stephen's camcorder.
Yeah, I remember listening to this.
You can hear it. You can hear him telling her about how he feels and how he's like, I don't think maybe I'm reading too much into it, but I don't think I am. And she's like, you're my father-in-law.
It was one of the hardest things I ever listened to. I had to skip most of it.
It was rough.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that crushed her sense of safety. And there was actually one point where she was like, yeah, I've been meaning to talk to you about this.
Mm.
And she's like, I'm like a degree away from being your daughter. So, that crushed her sense of safety. And this is what finally prompted the couple to move away.
Mm-hmm.
So despite this move away and out of Stephen's house, Josh still remained loyal to his father, often prioritizing Stephen's feelings over Susan's discomfort, which fueled even more marital friction. Not long after their move, in 2005, she gave birth to their first son, Charles, or Charlie, and their second son, Braden, who was born in 2007. Susan loved being a mom. She always wanted a family. It was her greatest joy. This is all she ever really wanted in life, so she was just delighted. She loved being an LDS member. She loved bringing the boys to church. Josh ended up stopped going to church. He started to resent the way that he was raised, so he stopped, which caused some additional friction in their marriage. And despite being a very hands-on mom, she also worked full-time at Wells Fargo, while Josh worked in computer programming. And Susan's journal entries and email correspondences indicated the presence of marital discord. There was tension, like I had mentioned, with Joshua over his refusal to attend church with family. Susan remained devout, while Josh felt very embittered by his upbringing and refused attendance. Susan's friends also pointed to Josh's, quote, extremely controlling behavior towards his wife and his extravagant spending habits. Joshua was very fixated on how their family looked to the neighborhood, to his coworkers, to other members of the LDS family, or LDS church. And because of that, he regularly overspent to the extremes to keep up with the Joneses, so to speak, and ended up taking his family into bankruptcy in 2007 with over $200,000 in debt.
It's not bad. Brother, you're just starting.
Not bad.
I remember when I was 200.
Yeah? Tell me.
Yeah, that was years ago.
What advice do you have for somebody who's in that financial situation?
Keep going. You'll come out the other side.
Keep spending going? Or
keep spending.
Keep spending. Keep spending. Okay. All right, good to know. Well, Josh didn't have a problem with that.
Yeah.
Unless it was in Susan trying to spend their money. He would not let Susan have control over their finances. He would change the passwords and otherwise shut her out of joint accounts that they would share. So she ended up taking it upon herself to open up her own bank account. Amid fierce fights documented in her private journals and even a secret deposition typed by a friend, Susan described daily anxiety and cycles of verbal abuse. In the summer of 2008, saw the Powell family teetering at the brink. Susan's mental state was one of chronic alertness. She was very frightened, but very determined to prepare. This all did not come out until after her disappearance, but I'm going to tell you about it now.
Okay.
But we didn't know about this at the time. On June 28th of 2008, following a violent argument with Josh, she dictated a deposition to a friend, basically like a last will and testament, and then wrote her secret will. In July, anticipating possible divorce or worse, she recorded a home video documenting her household assets, a gesture that would later take on grave significance, and both acts now seem like pleas for help. And here are some quotes in the videos that you can still watch. I have been having extreme marital stress for 3 to 4 years now. For mine and my children's safety, I feel the need to have a paper trail at work which would not be accessible to my husband. She filmed a video documenting the assets in the household in case Josh tried to falsely claim property or finances. She showcased property damage from Josh and stated that Josh was threatening to leave the country and sue if they were to divorce. But the most troubling document she left behind was a will, hidden in a Wells Fargo safety deposit box, which was found after her disappearance, that said, "If I die, it may not be an accident, even if it looks like one. Take care of my boys." Susan's family and friends paint a portrait of a woman desperate to leave her marriage, yet also very fiercely protective of her young sons, Charlie and Brayden. She wrote in her journals that she was very financially responsible, that she was really trying to fix their growing debt problem, that she was trying to seek marital counseling, and that she overall just wanted a better life for her children. Her growing unease in the months before her disappearance was very evident in every secret entry, every quietly stashed document, and in her confiding to friends about threats and fears that became tragically prophetic. Josh's trajectory was one of increasing paranoia, emotional instability, volatility, narcissism, and manipulation. His need for control colored every relationship he had. He was very dismissive as a parent, very obsessed over appearances, and despite the work stints in IT and odd jobs, he was never able to provide financial stability. With each setback that he faced himself, he isolated Susan further, cut ties with her support network, and sought advice from coworkers about, chillingly, how to hide a body in Utah's sprawling deserts.
He sought advice from his coworkers about that?
Yes.
If I came to you, my coworker, and I said, "Hey, Madison, how do you hide a body on City Island in Harrisburg?"
See, that's the problem. For us, I don't think that's a weird conversation.
Well, maybe not. But imagine if we didn't have a true crime podcast.
Then it would be weird.
Would it be near the mini golf course? Under the baseball field?
You're asking. You're asking my opinion.
Yeah, I figure I should hide it in the open,
Okay.
So yeah, where should I hide my body that I have in my apartment right now?
What I would do is I would actually see if you can throw it near the Susquehanna ferry boat. Riverboat. Because then it might... two things might happen. One, the motor might chop up the body if it gets caught in the propellers.
Right.
It might help to cover up some evidence there.
Yeah.
And two, it might just help to move things around a bit so it's a little bit undetectable. Smart.
Yeah,
I'm pretty smart.
And you just answered that off the top of your head?
Yeah, I thought about it a lot.
Have you thought about this at all?
I thought about it a lot.
Yeah, I figured. All right. You know, I haven't seen anything in the news about any bodies appearing near the
I
island.
have.
You
No,
have?
I'm not joking. I was literally just about to say this. I've been saying for years, since I moved here, that the Susquehanna River would be a perfect place to hide bodies, and that I'm sure, I've cautioned people to not go swimming there because I'm very sure there are dead bodies in there. And there was one found a couple weeks ago.
You know, sometimes I think the only reason why I'm still alive is because you want to keep the podcast going.
Because I could end it like that.
Yeah. What an evil laugh. Oh, terrifying. All right. Cool.
So here's what happened on that fateful day. On Sunday, December 6th, 2009, 5 months after Susan made this living will, Susan and her 2 boys attended church as usual. That afternoon, a neighbor visited at about 5 o'clock p.m., which was the last corroborated sighting of Susan by anyone outside of the Powell household. Monday, December 7th, 2009, the following morning came, and the day started with Susan missing work and the boys missing daycare. Calls went unanswered until daycare finally reached out to Josh's mother, Terica, and his estranged sister, Jennifer.
Hold on. Terica.
Terica.
Like Erica with T?
Terrica. So yeah, basically.
Oh, it's the first time I'm hearing that
Like
name.
Tara and Erica mixed together.
Gotcha. Met a man named Teakin recently.
Teakin?
Yeah.
Like not Tegan, but Teakin?
Teakin, like a deacon with a T.
Okay.
People can really put T at the start of any name they want.
They really can.
Not illegal.
It's not illegal.
You knew what you want in this country.
You can.
Even if it's ill-advised.
I'm just going to say, I think we've talked about this before, but chlamydia would be a really pretty name if it
We have
weren't-
talked about that
if it
before.
weren't for it being chlamydia.
Yeah.
Gonorrhea? I think that'd be a really pretty name.
Really?
Yeah.
I feel like those words are already freighted with like so much baggage.
But if they
with them.
weren't though, it's the point.
Gonorrhea, you think that's a
Gonorrhea.
good name?
Like it feels like a biblical name.
I think Rhea could be a good name.
Rhea, yeah. I mean, if you think about it,
Chlamydia.
syphilis isn't that far off from Phyllis.
Syphilis is actually long for Phyllis.
Yes.
Phyllis is short for syphilis.
Precisely.
People don't know that,
No, they
but now
don't.
they do. What other names?
Um,
Parsnip could be a good name.
Parsnip. Parsnip
Yeah.
would be a cute name.
Yeah, Parsnip.
I'm sure somebody is named Parsnip.
I
I'm
hope so.
pretty much confident that would be a name somebody
Some
would choose.
farmer in the Bible Belt
Yeah, Parsnip.
named his daughter Parsnip.
What about
All right.
what else? I was thinking of diseases. I guess we don't have. And you said parsnip, and I was like, that's not a disease. I guess it doesn't have to be.
Anyway, let's keep going.
Okay. So December 7th, 2009, calls went unanswered. Daycare ended up reaching out to Terica, Josh's mother, and she tried to reach out to Susan and Josh, but she wasn't hearing anything, so frightened for what could have happened, she ended up calling the police. So the police went to the Powell home. They found it locked. They initially thought that maybe there was a carbon monoxide poisoning, so police broke in. The house was empty. There were no signs of forced entry besides that of the police. Sorry, I read that and I was like, the police just fucking busted the door down. No signs. Okay, anyway. But there were 2 box fans aimed at a wet spot on the couch
Okay.
with Susan's purse, wallet left behind. Josh and the boys ended up reappearing at about 5 p.m., saying that they had gone camping. Police brought Josh in immediately for questioning because they're like, the fuck? We like literally busted your door down. Like, why did you not? What's wrong with you? So Josh claimed that he had taken the boys camping after midnight. A spontaneous trip, he said, to the Pony Express Trail west of the city, and that he left Susan home asleep. Spontaneous trip where you left home past midnight with your very teeny tiny children who are not old enough for school. They're old enough for daycare. Temperatures had also dropped below freezing that evening if they were tent camping, like Josh said that they were.
Yeah.
And there was a blizzard. It was also a school night. So all of these things very implausible for, why the fuck would you do that? Plus, everyone who knew Susan was like, there's no way in hell she would let him take the kids out on a school night camping in the middle of a blizzard. Like, what? So yeah, They were like, I don't know what's happening, but this isn't adding up. The critical hours between the last sighting of Susan and Josh's return are shrouded in ambiguity still to this day. Josh's explanations for not answering his cell phone were claiming that he forgot his charger. Though it was plugged in, he was saying that he was trying to conserve his battery.
Right.
Despite not answering his phone, he was also found having Susan's phone in his van with the SIM card removed.
Okay.
Investigators scoured the Powell home and the minivan on December 9th. From the outset, investigators struggled with the absence of a body and any direct physical evidence, which was just not there. Still, the circumstantial case was very grim. They found bloodstains, later confirmed to be Susan's, near the recently cleaned couch. Cryptology tests would show that the blood belonged to Susan, but a second sample came from a, quote, unknown male contributor, a detail that continues to puzzle analysts in the investigation. Authorities found $1.5 million in life insurance policies on Susan and discovered that Josh had tried to access her retirement accounts right after her disappearance. Josh again removed the SIM card from his own and Susan's phone before cooperating with the police. He also bought a new phone. The search is where they actually uncovered Susan's last will and testament and video deposition. They found it in her Wells Fargo safety deposit box. Josh did not know about it beforehand, along with a gas can, tarps, a shovel, and a generator, heightening all suspicions. Police didn't find sedatives or anything else that could have been used to drug her in the house. They even tested a lone cooked pancake found in the trash, which was normal. Police questioned their son, Charlie, who told them that his, quote, mommy had gone camping with them but didn't come home.
Lone cooked pancake.
Title.
That used to be my bio on dating apps.
A lone cooked... Are you serious?
No. In what world would I be serious?
I don't know.
A lone cooked pancake. There's
It
something
feels...
kind of beautiful about that.
I was literally just going to say, it feels weirdly, like, poetic.
Yeah.
A lone cooked pancake. Like a pancake for one. Because usually, I know why it feels poetic. Because usually whenever you're making pancakes, you make a big batch. Mm-hmm. But a lone cooked pancake?
Yeah. Discarded.
Yeah.
Forgotten.
Haunting or beautiful about that.
There is something a little haunting about that.
Yeah. Yeah.
The Haunting of Lone Cooked Pancake. New Netflix show. Edit this out.
Nope.
Please, my God.
Absolutely not. Mike Flanagan, next project.
Mike Flanagan? Are you listening?
Listening? Yes. So Charlie had said whenever he was asked by police, mommy had gone camping with them but didn't come home. Weeks later, he chillingly confided to a teacher, my mom is dead. Months after the disappearance, Braden drew a picture, 3 of them in a van, mommy in the trunk. Both statements would echo in later legal battles.
You could have meant anything.
Could have been anything in that trunk.
Yeah.
Didn't have to be mommy. Who's to say? You gonna trust a 4-year-old? You're gonna trust the man who tried to access her retirement accounts? No evidence of camping was ever found at the site Josh described. And after intense scrutiny, Josh rented a car and put over 800 miles on it in the 2 days following Susan's disappearance. And he never explained where he went. Within days, Josh hired an attorney and refused to sit for police interrogations. He quickly became increasingly uncooperative. And by late December, police formally named him as a person of interest. He took the boys and left for Washington to live with his father, Stephen, surrounded by family acolytes and apologists. In Washington, the darkness grew deeper. There was an online campaign to exonerate Josh, SusanPowell.org, widely believed to have been run by Josh Stephen and his brother Michael. And this began to publish conspiracy theories, claiming that Susan ran off with a journalist or a fellow LDS church member who vanished in the same week, concocting elaborate tales that painted Josh as the victim. Stephen's back in the picture now, after all this time, and this is the first thing he had to say about Susan after her disappearance. Susan's very sexually motivated, and she's very financially motivated. She absconded. We don't believe she was abducted. We don't believe she was murdered.
Is he on Spotify?
I don't believe so.
No. Okay.
I don't believe he was able to get that information out to the public. I think it's YouTube and the annals of the internet are the only places I've been able to find.
Gotcha.
Evidence later emerged that Josh and Michael created fake Facebook accounts to monitor and manipulate online conversations about the case, actively inserting themselves into digital search efforts. Further complicating the investigation, Stephen and Michael Powell interfered, feeding misinformation online and obstructing authorities in their investigation. Michael Powell's actions, which included disposing of a car in Oregon junkyard weeks after Susan vanished, and then seeking aerial photos of the lot, raised stark suspicions, but DNA from the trunk was inconclusive. Josh, again, moved him and his sons back with his father, Stephen. And in 2011, the West Valley City Police obtained a warrant to tap Josh's cell phone in hopes he'd incriminate himself in the wake of them announcing new searches. But he did not. The warrant was active through that October. And when that didn't work, they were getting a little bit desperate in terms of like what they can do to kind of like get another search warrant on them. But Stephen really helped out with that. So while Josh and the boys were living with him, Stephen Powell, Stephen started to share some of Susan's old journals with the press that he just so happened to have on him, pointing out entries that he said indicated that she was a fragile frame of mind when she went missing. And in a 2011 interview with ABC News, Stephen tried to attest that it was Susan who was making advances towards him. And he wanted to tell everybody how much Susan wanted him. He said, quote, "Susan was very, very sexual with me. She was very flirtatious. We interacted in a lot of sexual ways because Susan enjoys doing that. I enjoy doing that. They've tried to portray Susan as being offended by me and being afraid of me, and that is not the case. They are just misunderstandings about how Susan felt about me. Susan never let me forget that she was a woman, but she was also a beautiful daughter to me." Well, Stephen being in possession of Susan's diaries and being an overall creep was enough to get police another search warrant for his house in November 2011, nearly 3 years after Susan's disappearance, that is.
Yeah.
Which yielded a trove of horrors. Over 4,500 voyeuristic images of Susan and neighborhood girls taken of them in the bathroom. Secret video recordings. This is where all of the video recordings of Susan had come to light.
Okay.
Pictures of naked women with Susan's face glued over them. And journals, which Stephen admitted to his sexual obsession with his daughter-in-law. He was arrested on charges of voyeurism and child pornography. In the wake of Stephen's arrest, Charlie and Braden were placed in the custody of Chuck and Judy Cox, Susan's parents. They were taken away from Josh, and Josh was ordered to undergo psychological evaluation, including a polygraph test. Court orders demanded that Josh move out of his father's home to be eligible for regular visits, though evidence later surfaced that he never fully complied, simply staging a move to thwart social workers. Once it became clear that Josh Powell would not regain custody of the boys unless he satisfied court conditions, including a psychosexual evaluation, he grew increasingly desperate and detached. Do you know where the story is going next?
Yes.
Yeah. On February 5th, 2012, it was a Sunday morning in South Hill, Washington, and Josh was scheduled to have his very first supervised visit with his sons after being put into the custody of Susan's parents. During the supervised visit, the children, they were in the social worker's car, excited to see their father. They ran up to the door, arms outstretched. So social worker was following behind them, you know. Imagine just like kids running to the door and, you know, opening their father's arms.
Yeah.
But as soon as the children ran into Josh's arms, he slammed the door shut and locked it on the social worker.
Right.
Yeah. The social worker immediately called 911 to report what was happening. She said, "He won't let me in the house." She was frantically, you know, trying to tell the 911 operator, you know, "He's got the kids in the house. He won't let me in." It was the middle of the day, and that she said that she could smell gas and hear one of the boys crying. The call to 911 lasted for 6 minutes, per the Salt Lake Tribune, and at one point the dispatcher said that they could only send first responders to life-threatening situations.
That's
and
fucked up.
The social worker insisted this could be life-threatening. He was in court on Wednesday and he didn't get his kids back, and this is really, I'm afraid for their lives. She said that she didn't know whether or not he had threatened the children's lives, but the dispatcher agreed to have the first available deputy contact her, not even arrive at the scene.
Hmm.
When the social worker called back, she informed the dispatcher that the man in question had exploded the house. About 20 minutes after the door had slammed, he started a fire. He left a voicemail for his family saying, "Hello, this is Josh, and I'm calling to say goodbye. I'm not able to live without my sons. I'm not able to go on anymore. I'm sorry to everyone I've hurt. Goodbye." He also emailed his attorney, who didn't get the letter until a few hours later, that read, "I'm sorry, goodbye." Within minutes of the door slamming, Josh set the house alight, killing himself and his boys in an explosion caused by an accelerant. Autopsies revealed that both boys had died from carbon monoxide poisoning, but not before suffering hatchet wounds inflicted by their father. Investigators discovered that Josh had withdrawn $7,000, sent these goodbye emails to family, to clergy, and donated his son's toys to charity in the days prior. In a last twist of cruelty, he left life insurance benefits to his brother Michael, bypassing all other relatives.
Is that still legitimate? Like life insurance policies if you kill yourself?
I think so.
Really? I thought it was nullified if you take your own life.
I think it might, there might be like a different type of payout. Maybe you don't get the full amount, but I think you would still, if you kill somebody, you don't get it. But I think,
right.
I think suicide might be covered under there.
What an odd thing to attach like a number value to somebody's life.
Yeah. This might sound really shitty, and I don't mean it to sound shitty.
Go ahead.
That might be why it was only $7,000 and not like $1.5 million like Susan's was.
Oh, okay.
It might have been for that reason. I don't honestly know.
Gotcha.
But yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Between 4 and 15 detectives were assigned to the case on any given day for Susan Powell, that is. And admittedly, all they had was circumstantial evidence and nothing physically linking Josh to the alleged murder of his wife. And police chief Detective Maxwell didn't think it was likely that he killed her and then moved her body, but I think that's exactly what happened. I think what happened was he hurt her in the house. I think he took her in his trunk, which is where the boys, were with them. I think he drove out to dispose of the body and then drove back home. And then I think what happened is the 2 days that he had rented the car after the fact, that he had moved the body is my suspicion, because I don't think he felt that it was hidden well enough.
Gotcha.
It was really hard for Susan's family because they felt very strongly that the police did have evidence against Josh and this could have been prevented for the children at least. And that is partially true, but it is really, really hard to move forward with a no-body homicide case. Usually, for the district attorney's office, they wanted them to wait at least 12 months to move forward with that kind of a case. It's really hard, especially if you don't have a body, all you have is circumstantial evidence, you don't have anything physical linking. It's hard to get that approved by a judge to actually take it to trial. And then if they were to take it to trial and, he doesn't get convicted, he wouldn't be able to be charged for it then later if physical evidence did arrive. So, it's we've talked about this before in like other instances. It's really tough. It's really sucky. It's shitty. But at the very end of the day, there was never a question of who did it. It was really just a question of, can we prove beyond a reasonable doubt to a jury that she's dead and that it was him who did it?
Yeah.
Because they don't even know how. They don't know how. They don't know what weapon, if it was a weapon, if she was, they literally don't know how.
I'd imagine it was probably a hatchet, right?
I would imagine so, especially considering that's how he killed the boys. That's actually a really good point. MO, modus operandi.
Right.
If you used it one time and it worked, you're going to use it again. And it worked.
If he was comfortable enough using it against his own kids, he'd probably use it before.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Yeah, Josh had once mused to acquaintances that the best place to drop a body was a mine shaft, because a mine shaft is vertical, and it would be too hard, a vertical mine shaft to be specific, because it would be too hard to investigate and to actually search a body. It would be too difficult and too dangerous for police to actually get down there and search. So
what a lighthearted thing to muse to your friends about.
Really, truly.
The best place to hide a body is behind the pride of the Susquehanna in the river, because they'll chop up the body.
Yeah.
So you can get rid of the evidence.
Precisely.
Yeah.
See? Totally normal. Susan's parents, who pushed for custody and warned authorities of potential danger, they later sued the state of Washington, alleging negligence, allowing Joshua unsupervised reach of his sons, which is hard because he was there on a supervised visit. I really feel for the social worker because, like, that's, like, you're there to protect those kids.
Yeah.
But, I can see being a social worker and, like, the kids are excited to see their dad. Like, you're there to supervise them. You're there with them. They run into his arms ahead of you, and you're coming to follow, and it just, like,
there's not a lot you can do.
No, there's not a lot you can do, and I hope that she's doing okay, because I really can't imagine having that on your chest. In 2020, after years of legal battles, the Cox family was awarded $98.5 million in damages, which they've actually all used to help other other people who are struggling with, like, spousal abuse, familial abuse, any missing cases similar to their own, through the Susan Cox Powell Foundation, I believe. In terms of the rest of the Powell family, Josh's brother Michael was a doctoral candidate in Minnesota, was deemed by police to have assisted in hiding Susan's body. But he committed suicide in February 2013, leaping from the roof of a parking garage, which eliminated one of the very few remaining people with definitive knowledge of the crime. Stephen Powell, after numerous interviews and parole hearings, died of natural causes in 2018, leaving behind a very awful legacy. Friends and family, including his daughter, Jennifer, a estranged daughter from him and estranged sister from Josh and Michael, described him as a sexual predator whose fixation on Susan was instrumental in both splitting his family and setting the stage for tragedy. Susan's disappearance and the subsequent murder-suicide of her family sparked national outrage, lots of true crime analysts, social media campaigns, a lot of people trying to push for change in the judicial system. Part of the problem that they had, not the case against the state, wasn't just with the unsupervised visit or unsupervised contact. I think that was a big part of it, but part of it was also the fact that he was able to have access to the children at all whenever he was considered a danger in that regard. Yeah, it's the family is still struggling over the loss of the two sons, but yeah, the Susan Cox Powell Foundation is what is set in place to help families of other missing loved ones, domestic violence, and yeah, that's what the restitution money has been used for, to help those families who are missing their loved ones, and also just for general public advocacy over.
Right. It's a pretty tragic story.
It is. It is.
I remember watching videos about this, mostly following the father and his creepiness as he followed around.
That's what it's most notorious for.
Yeah.
Again, like it's the songs are.
The music. Are you waiting for me to incriminate myself by saying that the music's good?
No,
it's not good.
It's not good.
It's not bad.
It's the music is
it's pretty mediocre, but
it's a selling point for the story.
Yeah,
it's just one. It's one highlight in an overall really terrible, tragic story, but like it does give some levity in a really dark moment.
Yeah, it does. Also, I want to say, folks, I don't have any business being around the Pride of the Susquehanna. So if I do end up there, it is a little suspicious.
I don't have any business being around there.
I really don't.
I don't either. Wait, actually, we were supposed to have a team event on the Pride of the Susquehanna.
Yeah, it was a murder mystery.
Nope.
That was years ago.
Nope.
Was this recently?
It was. We were supposed to have it last year, but it was undergoing renovations. And we were supposed to reschedule it for this year, but I don't think it was still up for operation. But it's been in the event calendar for 2 years now.
Damn.
For things we've been supposed to be doing. So maybe next year. So maybe you will have business around the Pride of the Susquehanna, is my point.
It's going to be a real life murder mystery, and the mystery solved.
Yep.
And it was Madison. Well, thank you so much for bringing this.
Yeah.
That's a hell of a story. I remember watching videos on it before. It's really grisly stuff, especially with the way that it ended.
No, for real. I remember the first time I was listening to it, and I was like, I thought it was just the disappearance, and then they got to the kid stuff, and I was like, this is fucked.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think Susan's family has a hard time grappling with they're like, why did he take the kids? Like, it didn't make any sense. Like, but I think what it was is they were getting older and they could verbalize more what had happened. I mean, if they were already like 2 and 4 and drawing pictures and saying that mommy is dead, they probably remember, and they probably were verbalizing more. And I think that's probably what happened.
Man, he was just an evil guy.
Yeah. A coward.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for listening, guys. I hope you enjoyed this story. I don't hope you enjoy this story. I hope that, what's the word? Not that liked. I hope you maybe take something away from this story.
Yes.
I don't know what that is exactly.
That is for you to decide.
Yeah. But this one stuck with me for, clearly years. So I hope it sticks with you. Really, I do. Because it's a lot of different layers. Very dark and twisted in a lot of different ways. And if you do need some levity in this dark case, look up some of Stephen Powell's songs. Mi Muñequita is something. It's really something to hear a white guy speak Spanish in the way that he does, and trying to make a song about his little doll that is clearly about Susan, which is very grim, but somehow very funny.
Oh, yes, Mia. Yeah. Well, thanks, folks, for listening.
Yeah, if you want more of us, you can find us on Instagram and Facebook at ME Crisis Pod. You can send us an email for story suggestions or just to say hi at myexistentialcrisispodcast@gmail.com. Dylan, where can they find you?
Marble Folk.
And you can find me at my first and last name on Instagram. But yeah, thanks, guys.
Thanks.
See you later.
Bye.